lovely people. I'm Grace with Wrestling with Grace, and first of all, I would like to apologize for these videos being a day late. I had a bit of a hectic day yesterday, but we are here now for our first Dynamite discussion. So, the show began with a Jake Roberts promo, and to me, that is the best way that you could start a show because Jake is a master on the mic and promos in general. And Jake is the mouthpiece for Lance Archer, who they are setting up for a feud with Cody. So that makes sense that that would start out the show. So then we see a squash match between Lance Archer and Alan Eagles, basically just to set up or to show us that this man is a monster. He can manhandle smaller men and things like that. So both Cody and Archer are in the tournament for the TNT title, but I don't think it's going to go to either one of them. I think they are using this tournament as a driving force to start their rivalry, but it's a separate entity. So, but I don't know. I could be proven wrong in the coming weeks. Then we saw a heck of a match between Britt Baker and Hikaru Shida. It was great. Britt Baker bled. I don't know if her nose was actually broken or if that was part of the match. But the match overall itself is great. But the AEW women's division kind of confuses me as a whole because throughout that match, Jericho and Shivani were hammering the number one contender status and the fact that rankings matter as far as world title shots go. So Britt's fourth in line for a world title shot and Shida is first. But we have not seen Nyla Rose, who is the current AEW Women's Champion, in weeks. So, to me, if the champion's not on TV, the title's kind of out of sight, out of mind. But I don't know, that's just my personal opinion. And also, I would have thought that they would do more with Britt Baker as far as wins and losses go, because when AEW first started, Britt was the only name in the women's division that I really recognized, and so I would think that they would give her a push sooner than it looks like they're going to, but I don't know. So then we see Kenny Omega's daily log, as they called it, where he's talking to Michael Nakazawa about their upcoming match with Chuck Taylor and Trent, the best friends, and they try to come up with a team name, and they come up with the best friends, and so the name is on the line in the tag team match. But I was confused because Omega is one half of the World Tag Team Champs with Hangman Adam Page, and so maybe by putting him in another tag team, they are setting up for the breakup of that tag team and their dissolvement into fighting and whatever, but I don't know. So then we see a preview for next week's match between Moxley and Hager, and I'm excited for this match because back when they were Jack Swagger and Dean Ambrose in another company, they never really got a singles match storyline together. And so I think they are two men who like to really fight it out. And so it should be interesting to see which way that match goes. So then we see the match between the best friends and Omega and Nakazawa, and Taylor and Trent win that match. It was just kind of there for me because I'm not really invested in Nakazawa and Omega at this point, so there wasn't really much to be interested in. Then we go back to Moxley and Hager for another bit of a preview. And that just got me more excited because they were talking about Hager's MMA fighting and pro wrestling fighting. And so the fact that he's like a natural born killer or whatever. But I don't know, Moxley's a loose cannon. So like I said, it should be interesting to see which way that one goes. And then we get a promo from Britt Baker talking about how she does not the number one shouldn't be the number one in the women's division because she cheated and she's just lucky she didn't hit Britt's teeth. And so that's kind of interesting. Maybe they're going with a feud between Baker and Shida instead of Shida and Rose. I don't know. Then we see a promo from Matt Hardy, who is inviting Chris Jericho to the Hardy compound for an elite deletion. And once again, going back to the Moxley Hager style stuff, these two are guys that never really got a single storyline in the WWE. So it's interesting to me how their styles are going to clash and how they're going to work together. So I think it should be fun because he gets to do the deletion gimmick again, which we saw a little bit of that with Bray Wyatt in WWE, but it wasn't to the level that it could be. So I'm excited to see that again. Then we get a match between Brody Lee and Lee Johnson. I think Lee Johnson is becoming a jobber with a name, but regardless, this was just a match to prove Brody's dominance, which it did exactly that. And we end the night with Spears versus Cody. And Cody won by pinning Spears in a figure of four position, which I thought was cool because that's part of something that we don't really see very often is they either tap out of the submissions or they struggle out. So that's putting a different spin on it. And I think, like I said earlier, I don't think Cody's going to win the title, but I think it was the right thing to do to have him win because it's kind of a redemption story after he lost his chance at the world title to Jericho. So tell me your thoughts on this edition of AEW Dynamite. I don't know. I thought it was a good show with good matches. I liked Shida and Baker a lot, and I liked Spears and Cody a lot. But as I pointed out, there was a lot of different confusing things storyline-wise. So, I don't know. And I also like the fact, just in general, that they have wrestlers in the crowd to make it more of a normal show. Like, they're chanting, they're clapping along, they're doing all that different stuff, which may not be the right thing to do in today's circumstances, but I think it makes it a little bit more fun. I don't know. So like, comment, share, subscribe, and have a good day until next time.